evening, everyone. We begin the readout tonight with a day that will go down in the history books. The day the Republican Party slid closer to full Trumpian autocracy by purging a leader of their own party, Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming, as the number 3 member of the minority caucus in the House of Representatives, for daring to rebuke the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, who, despite wielding no political power, as we sit here tonight, absolutely controls the once grand old party. Last night, on the eve of her removal, Cheney delivered a memorable speech on the House floor to explain why she refuses to take the knee and bow down to Trump and his big lie about the election that evicted him from the White House.
This is not about policy. This is not about partisanship. This is about our duty as Americans. Remaining silent and ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. I will not participate in that. I will not sit back and watch in silence while others lead our party down a path that abandons the rule of law and joins the former president's crusade to undermine our democracy.
Now, it was eerily quiet in the chamber when Cheney gave that speech, with just one member in attendance, Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado. That's because the other Republican lawmakers cleared out, perhaps lacking the guts to hear her out and to face her the night before taking out the long knives. And then today, as House Republicans led by Trump's chief marionette, our puppet Kevin, prepared to oust her as chair of the House GOP conference, Republicans proved themselves to be not just weak, but also childish, with some Republicans booing her as she rose for her final statement. Cheney was then excommunicated from the Church of Trump in a 16-minute closed-door voice vote, meaning there is no tally of those who supported or opposed her removal. And in the face of that breathtaking cowardice, Cheney remained defiant, throwing down the gauntlet immediately after her colleagues demoted her.
We must go forward based on truth. We cannot both embrace the big lie and embrace the Constitution.
Congressman, how concerned are you that former President Trump might end up back in the Oval Office, and what are you prepared to do to prevent?
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
Okay, and then after those remarks, she sat down with NBC's Savannah Guthrie to discuss the future of her battered party.
Are you the leader of the opposition in exile right now in the Republican Party?
I intend to be the leader, one of the leaders in a fight to help to restore our party.
A lot of people frame this as a battle for the soul of the Republican Party.
This is the, I think, opening salvo in that battle. And it's a battle we have to win because it's not just about the Republican Party. It's about the country.
The Trump political team is actively looking to coalesce around a primary challenger to you. What is your message to them?
You know, bring it on.
Okay, so this is the person now standing in the gap against Trumpism. The biggest man in the party of Trump marionettes and castrati is a woman. She's also an unusual ally for the rest of us who always viewed Trump as an existential threat to American democracy. A hawkish neocon who hails from the house of Dick Cheney. But in this moment, when democracy needs allies, she is and must be our ally, nonetheless. That's how much danger our democracy is in, folks. The Democrats, liberals, progressives, and those like me who vehemently oppose the war against Iraq and birtherism and Tea Partyism and all the other uglies in modern Republican history. We need to set aside those deep ideological differences for now to fight what is arguably the most radical anti-democratic movement in this country since the Civil War. Unlike Puppet Kevin and his fellow greasy Trump minions, Cheney isn't in this for her political ambition. Fighting Trump isn't going to win her any Republican prizes. She's in it to salvage what's left of her party, and more importantly, to fight for our democracy. One of the only ones left, really, who's willing to risk her position to fight what her party has become. A party that's rapidly, by the day, devolving into a reality circus act, punctuated with childish tantrums and fascist theater. A party that is now officially split between a Trumpian identity cult that poses a national security threat to the United States and those like Cheney Politicians who made entire careers out of calling for exporting democracy to places like Iraq and who now have to fight to save democracy at home.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.